All right, here we go. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Oh, it's good. They're in good voice. They're in good voice. That's nice. I am Neil Goldman. I am a past president of Beth El, and I am standing in tonight for Rabbi Dime as he is presiding over the installation of a friend of his out in Los Angeles as he gets installed as a rabbi. Richard Barsky is joining me tonight as cantorial soloist, as Lori is down in South Florida at a bar mitzvah. So bear with us. We're going to have a little bit of fun. It's fine. Couple of quick announcements. Don't forget to join us for the Oneg tonight after the service. Tomorrow, again, we have services at 10 a.m., followed by the Oneg, and then Torah study will start about noon. Gail Greenfield and Len Ellikin will be leading services tomorrow. Please mark your calendars for Saturday, February 24th. It's our annual fundraiser this year with the tagline, Many Hands, One Heart. It will be here at Beth El, starting at 6:30. We will have live dueling pianos, dueling cocktails, and a delicious dinner. Please check our weekly e-blast to RSVP. There's a lot more events in the e-blast, so please just read it every week and stay up and join us as many times as you can. And with that, let us start. Please turn to page 128 as we start with Ma Yafeh Hayom.
And I'll say good Shabbos to everybody. I'm Rich Barsky, and I feel we're chavarim, we're companions tonight, a small group, and I'm going to ask your forbearance. I don't have Laurie Simmons' voice, but in fact, when I sing at home, Carol, my wife, runs out of the house so the neighbors don't think I'm hitting her. We're going to...
and you still sing better than me.
We'll start with Ma Yafeh Hayom on page 128, means how lovely is this day. This is a song to wish people a peaceful Sabbath, the day of Shabbat. And while Laurie has an instrument, I brought an instrument to help us go through. Page 128. Maya. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. La, la, lie, lie, lie. Here we go. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. I need your help. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Yafeh Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. That was a good start.
Thank you. All right, we now continue on page 120 with, as we welcome in Shabbat by lighting the candles and drinking the wine. I'd like to call up Vicki Kennedy and Jody Leeser to help us with that.
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat. Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kadsho b'ahava v'ratzon tinkanu zichron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom tehillah limrakei hakodesh zecher litzit Mitzrayim kivanu v'achata v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kadshecha b'ahava uvratzon chinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
Okay, we continue. We might do, I have a little discretion, the rabbi told me, so we're going to do one or two little throwback things. So on page 127, there are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. We now continue on page 138 with Lecha Dodi. We are going to do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And we ask that as we get to verse 9, if everybody could stand up and face the back of the sanctuary as we welcome in the Shabbat bride.
Lecha dodi lichrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lichrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lichrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lichrat kala. Pnei Shabbat nikabela, she'amor v'zichor v'divru echad, tishme'enu el hamir echad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem ultiferet l'tifla. Lecha dodi lichat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Verse 9. Say shalom. חרב ולבום, גם בשמך וברצל חלה, הוך אמוני עם סגולה, בוריך לה, בוריך לה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. 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 Lecha Dodi, it's a beautiful song composed in the 16th century, and you can figure out who wrote it. If you look at your prayer book, it was Shlomo Halevi, and if you look at the verses, Shem Lamed He Halevi. He wanted to make sure that his name persisted through the years. Come, my beloved, to greet the bride. The Sabbath presence, let us welcome.
Thank you. If you want to remain standing, if you're comfortably able, for page 146 in the Baruch.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidovra ma'ariv aravim, bechachma poteach sha'ariv, uvtevurna masane itim, umachalif et hazamanim, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשרותיהם ברקיע כרצונה, בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימליך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המרעיב ערבים.
Amen. Please be seated. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates and thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzivaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai ha'amariv aravim. Please join me in reading on page 150 together at the bottom. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts.
Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ochev Amor Yisrael.
Please rise for page 152 and the Shema, if you are comfortably able.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We go to page 159, and we read together. Sing the song of men and women, join in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, the soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. And now page 158, the Micha Mocha.
Lie, 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 ya, lie, 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 ya, lie, 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 lie. Here we go. Mi chamocha be'elim Adonai, mi chamocha neda b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh. La 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 ya 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 la 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 ya la 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 ya la la la. Lie, 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 lie. Malchut ra'u v'nenecha, okeyam lifnei Moshe, edel li anu v'yamru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. One more verse. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai 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 lai lai yai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai 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 lai lai. The last verse was easy.
We now turn to page 160 as we read together. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah
Adonai,
haporei
Sukkot
sukkot
Shalom
aleinu,
Aleinu, V'al Kol Amor Yisrael, V'al Yerushalayim.
And we turn to page 162 for Vishamru. That's my keys here. Hashkivina, we read in English. You want to sing?
Hashkivenu, and then we'll do Vishamru.
Okay.
Hashkivenu is one of the most beloved prayers of the evening service. It goes back to ancient times when sleep was poorly understood. Imagine that. The sages believed that sleep was 1/60th of death. That's in the Berachot 57a. Moreover, a sleeping person is vulnerable to attack. Even if we don't die then, bad things can happen. Hashkivenu is a petitionary prayer which envisions God as a guide and shelter during the night ahead and praises God for watching over us, delivering us, and being merciful. So here's Hashkivenu on page 160, page 160. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shadeinu shlim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomenu l'chayim. Nu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu keinu. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu shalom, keinu keinu shalom. Enu l'chayim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu me'enu ashlavim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shadonai. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomerenu. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, mikei.
And now Vishamru on page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. בני ובין בני ישראל, אות היא לעולם, אות היא לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש,
שבת וינפש,
וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם.
All right, now please, if you are comfortably able, please rise as we turn to page 164 for the tefillah. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El HaGadol, HaGibor, HaNorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Tikonei HaKol, Zocher Chasdei Avot, V'Imahot, Umevi Gedula Livnei B'neihem, V'man Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Hosehu Moshiach Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, v'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, V'chayei hakol atah Rab le'Hoshiach. V'chalkei chayim b'chesed, V'chayei hakol b'rachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayeh emunato Yishenei afa Michamocha pa'agevurot Umido melach Melech memis Umekayeh Umazmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah v'chayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai v'chayei hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, v'kadoshim v'chol yom yihalalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. We now turn to page 175 as we read together at the bottom. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'orecha levadecha b'riyah na'avod. And now on page 177, we read together also at the bottom. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shemcha ulecha ne'eh lehodot. We now turn to page 178 for Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav is a blessing that asks for abundant peace upon Israel and its people. The prayer is considered a prayer for the collective good of all people, for all time. It's typically recited at the end of the evening service during the Amidah as worship is drawing to a close. And there's a different version of this prayer, Sim Shalom, which we do in the morning Amidah. Page 178. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tov b'yenecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol et u'v'chol sha'ar b'shlomecha. Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
now our thoughts and prayers turn towards those who are in need of healing, whether it is of mind, of body, or its spirit. The congregation is thinking of Jim Darman, Rebecca Kaufman, Pearl Levin, Ron Rappaport, Carol Friedman, Carol Wallace, David Cohn, Carol Solomon, June Van, Rabbi Michael Matchison, Dennis Montagna, Jerry Chait, Sherry Chait, Larry Mikolov, Antoine Whirl, Janice Greiner, Linda Chambliss, Judge Frank Caprio, Buzzy Klausner, Paula Klausner, Mary Louise Boyer, Stuart Rosenthal, Chaim Ben Yeshuda V. Saradina, Yehudit Bat Naomi and Raphael, Fran Marcus, Dania Mouts, Howard Silver, Rose Angelico, Arthur Angelico, Eli Shlomo Ben Lynn Cynthia, David Shaknovsky, Helen Ben Bassett, Shoshana Tehila Bat Rochel Yocheved, Carol Konitsky, Paige Hedrick, Bonnie Yales Gibson, Leo Stevenson, Sue Chataway, Ronnie Patterson, Jerry Patterson, Jackie Gould, Vanessa Warner, Mike Hyman, Alan Hyman, Sharon Allen, Jamie Klinger, Carol Mandel, Carol Mann, Greg Berger, the Israeli hostages, Israeli soldiers injured in the current war, and all civilians in this war and in any war. And I'd like to invite anybody who has a name they would like to share with the congregation, and you can do so when my eyes meet yours. Okay, we turn to page 371 for the Mishiberach, and if everybody could please rise.
Those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Please be seated. We now take a moment for silent prayer and reflection. Say shalom b'mromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, Yal Kol Yisrael. Amen. Well, this is typically the part of the service where a rabbi gives a sermon. I do not feel qualified to do that. Asked him if I had to, and he said no. I did mention, though, that I did check out what the Parsha is this week. It does happen to be one of my favorites. I have two favorites. This happens to be number 2. So I thought I'd just tell everybody why that is. This week's portion is called Yitro. It's named after Moses' father-in-law, most famous for being the portion where the people of Israel hear the 10 Commandments from God at the foot of Mount Sinai. That is not my favorite part. That's not the part that's most meaningful to me, I should say. The part that's most meaningful is that Moses is coming back from Egypt as they wander in the desert, and he meets his father-in-law who brings Moses' wife Zipporah and his sons, and Moses tells him everything that has gone on in Egypt. And Yitro, of course, is overawed at what's gone on, and they make a sacrifice to God. And over the next couple of days, Yitro watches as Moses is now magistrating all the disputes that are going on in Israel. And as everybody can imagine, there's tens of thousands of Jews. There's just a small handful of arguments going on. We, pretty much get along really well even back then. So Moses is the only one that's making all of these decisions, and the lines are long, and it is wearying to him. And his father-in-law, like a good father or a good father-in-law does, tells him, stop this. You can't do this by yourself. You need to appoint other people so you can be doing more important things like conversing with God and leading the people. Let the major things come to you. Get yourself a team. It's the only way this works. And it's meaningful to me because as someone who has led businesses, organizations, and teams almost my whole life, it's one of the hardest things to learn when you're starting out. And one of the most important things that you can learn is that you cannot do it by yourself. And if you don't grow a good team and build a good team, the whole thing is useless. And it's good for all of us to remember that we can't do it by ourselves. So whether it's running a business or an organization or it's in our own personal lives, none of us is an island. And the more we reach out and ask people to help us, the better we all are. And that's why this one's very meaningful to me.
Taking it a step further, the Zohar teaches us the very first word of the 10 Commandments, the I, Anochi. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, encompasses the entire Torah. But what kind of word is Anochi? When I went to Hebrew school in Boston, I know the Hebrew word for I is Ani. If I wrote the 10 Commandments, which I tell you I didn't, I would have started with the word Ani. What language is Anochi? What is its origin? At first I thought it was Spanish, but the surprising answer found in the Midrash, Yakut Shimoni, informs us that Anochi is an Egyptian word. How is it possible for the word Anochi to be of Egyptian origin? How can it be that the word that encompasses the entire Torah and the word that denotes God's essence is of the language spoken by the most morally bankrupt civilization in our time? Well, it's personal. We're taught that every Jewish soul that has ever and will ever come into the world was present at the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai. God gathered every man, woman, and child of Jewish faith, and he said, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. If God wanted to impress everyone, why didn't he say, I'm the Lord your God who created heaven and earth? That's much more impressive. While God, who created heaven and earth, is indeed impressive, it has very little to do with each of us on a personal level. When I hear God who took the Jewish people out of Egypt, that's personal. That's about me. It's especially personal when considering the teaching of the Mishnah that in every generation a person is obligated to regard himself as if he had come out of Egypt. The Hebrew word for Egypt, Mitzrayim, also means boundaries and limitations. We all have our own constraints, things that hold us back, box us in, chain us down. These limitations can be externally imposed or self-imposed. But God promises us, I took you out of Egypt once, I can also take you out of your own Egypt. We are connected to the one God, Anochi, and we can do anything we set our minds to. There's nothing we cannot accomplish.
Thank you. We now turn to page 586 for the Aleinu. Please.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol, v'atet gedula li'oseh re'eshit, shehu noten shemayim.
Kimishbechot Adama,
Elosem kalkein kahem, v'gol aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malkei hamachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Shehu noten shamayim v'yoseh haaretz, ומשב יקרוב בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת וזאת, וגלהי מרומי. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, עמק מלכנו את גזולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשירות אל עבדך. כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת. אין עוד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Now, as we start the Kadisha Tome portion of our service, I'd like to do a little bit of a throwback. And Rabbi Matchison always said that our prayer book was a rather rich prayer book with a lot of prayers that we don't do and a lot of readings that we don't have time for. But if anybody would like to take a moment and read a prayer for us that is meaningful to them, please raise your hand or make eye contact with me and let me know which one you would like to read. Just let us know what page you're on. Jody? Go ahead. Wonderful, thank you. Anybody else? Vicki? Anywhere in the book? 491. Beautiful. Thank you. Anybody else? Amy, go ahead. Eager beaver. It's fine. 589. Go ahead. Very nice. That's terrific. Thank you. Go ahead. What page number? 260. 260. Go ahead. Well read. Thank you. Anyone else? One from me, page 592. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give to me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. And the congregation is remembering those that we have lost. Lawrence Merrill Saxon, Anna Logsdon, Rayla Montagna, Roberta Ruiz, Shelley Fishman, Michael Charrap, Zenobia Neustadt, Ben Fishman, Leonard Smolin, Marilyn Goodman, Uriel Betsabel Ben Hinda, Erica Pearl, Anita Perlman, Ellie Reamer, Sydney Morris, Sandy Pachter, and Jenny Wolf. We are also remembering those that we have lost in times past. Isaac Bockel, Manny Buckman, Gary Cooper, Evelyn Ehrenzweig, Pearl Furman, Mike Gavronsky, Annette Goldberg, Benjamin Green, Ann Grosner, Pearl Jarrett, Ira Kinder, Mildred Klein, Ann Lesser, Esther Lubel, Milton Portnoy, Milton Rifkin, A.E. Sager, Irving Schulman, Leonard Silver, Roy Julius Sloat, Dean Wolwitz. And I would like to invite anyone with a name that they would like to share to do so when my eyes meet yours. And we now rise for page 598 for the Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malkutei, b'chayechon of yomechon, b'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agalav v'zman kariv v'yimeru amen. Yehei shvang ramba v'yinchem lemei amayach, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitmomam v'yitnasei, v'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal, shemei dekudashah barichu. Le'ela min kol birata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'ne'emanta, damiran v'yalma v'yimeru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'yimeru amen. Osei shalom b'momav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'yimeru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Please be seated. And now we go to our closing song, which tonight is on page 626, the Ein Kelohenu. Eloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mi Eloheinu, Mi Kadonenu, Mi Kemalkeinu, Mi Kemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, Utenu, Ahotenu, I'd like to ask everybody to rise as we turn to page 678 for Hatikvah. And now we close with page 603 with the priestly blessings.
Yishmecha Elohim, Yivarech Adonai, Yishmecha Elohim, Yishmecha Elohim, Yishara, Kirka, Ephraim, Kirachel, Uchlea, Im Nasher, Yivarech Adonai, Yishimcharech, Yehei Adonai Panav Elecha, V'yichunecha, Yisar Adonai Panav Elecha, V'yisam Lecha Shalom. May God bless you and keep you.
May God's light shine above you. May God be gracious to you. May you feel God's presence within you always. May you find peace. Kain Yehi Ratzon. Good Shabbat. Good Shabbos, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.
coming.